Hello and welcome. Today we're rethinking wildlife connectivity for Australia. So it works under heat, fire, drought, and shifting ranges. One green corridor line on a map won't cut it anymore. Australia has warmed about 1.4 degrees since 1910. Fire seasons are longer, and species are on the move. Single corridors fail when they're hit by fire, flood, or a road upgrade. The fix? Build redundancy-rich networks, not single threads. Measure 1. Design for redundancy. Multiple pathways, not one. Think network theory. The internet keeps working when a server goes down. Landscapes with 3 or more alternative routes between core habitats keep connectivity, even when one path is wiped out. In Australia's feast or famine climate, wildlife moves in pulses. Flying foxes can travel over 1,000 kilometers to follow flowering eucalypts. Eastern grey kangaroos range widely as habitat quality shifts. A single fin line can't carry that reality. Aim for 3 distinct connections between key habitat nodes. Use CircuitScape or Linkage Mapper to map multiple low-cost paths, not just the best one. Respect a critical threshold. Below roughly 30% native vegetation cover in a landscape, ecological function collapses. Set that 30% per subcatchment as non-negotiable. Design with riparian cores, ridge and range stepping stones, and climate escape routes. So species always have options. If you want a mental model, think Aboriginal songlines. Multiple routes, chosen by season and resources. Redundancy was survival. Measure 2. Restore river connectivity. Rivers are the continent's superhighways. Longitudinal connection along rivers often unlocks more movement for more species than upland corridors. New South Wales has identified over 10,000 barriers to fish passage. The Sea to Hume Fishways program reconnected more than 2,000 kilometers of the Murray, boosting movement across the network. This isn't only fish ladders. It's restoring environmental flows, so rivers behave like rivers, removing or modifying barriers so sediment, organic matter, and fish can move, and creating generous riparian buffers. Think 30 meters or more on each bank, for shade, stability, cooler water, and structure. Platypus need cool, shaded, stable banks. Their burrows fail when flows and temperatures are wrong. Exclude stock, plant deep-rooted natives, fix perched culverts, and prioritize barrier removals that open the longest stretches. Reconnected rivers then stitch your broader network together from alpine headwaters to wetlands and coasts. Measure 3. Secure climate refugia and connect elevation gradients. As extremes intensify, species need places where conditions change more slowly. Low climate velocity areas, like south-facing slopes, deep gullies, wet gorges, spring-fed soaks, rainforest pockets, and high elevations. Map those cool, moist, complex places and ensure every major pathway in your network plugs into them. Protect permanent water, shade, and structural complexity. Restore multi-layered vegetation, canopy, shrubs, logs, litter, to cool ground temperatures and hold moisture. Don't isolate refugia. Connect them up and down slope so species can shift with seasons and decades. When planting, source seed from both local and slightly warmer provenance, and build plantings along elevation gradients so fauna can move through time as well as space. Measure 4. Lift native cover and build stepping stones across working lands. If the surrounding matrix is bare, your corridor will underperform. Aim for at least 30% native cover per subcatchment. Use shelter belts, paddock tree recruitment, riparian buffers, fenced and revegetated farm dams, and patches of woodland or mallee restored where they link ridge to river. Protect old paddock trees and recruit the next generation beneath them. They're stepping stones and biodiversity hotspots. Make strips and patches wide enough to function. Narrow ribbons dry out, heat up, and suffer edge effects. Sequence pragmatically. Fence first, control weeds early, plant diverse natives with structural variety, maintain water points and shrubs. 3 moderate quality pathways across mixed working land often cost less and perform better than one perfect corridor. Measure 5. Make connectivity fire smart. In Australia, a corridor designed without fire in mind is a wick waiting to fail. Build wide, varied, non-linear habitat that disrupts fire behavior. Use green fire breaks, moist gullies, riparian ribbons, irrigated patches, fire-tolerant species to buffer key nodes. Manage for pyrodiversity, different post-fire ages and structures, so if one patch burns hot, another remains as refuge. Embed planned burning and grazing windows so you don't lose all pathways at once. Keep seed banks, nurseries, and rapid response crews ready for post-fire replanting to reopen linkages quickly. Redundancy is your best defense. If one root burns through, others hold. Measure 6. Make infrastructure permeable. Roads, fences, and rail can sever connectivity even when habitat looks good on either side. The fixes are practical and proven. Retrofit culverts and underpasses where animals already try to cross, and add fencing that gently guides them to safe points. Use rope bridges or glider poles for arboreal species. Replace or notch perched culverts so fish can move. Choose low-flow designs that maintain bed and banks. Modify fences to create pass-throughs for macropods and wombats while keeping stock contained. Drop wires, raised bottom wires, or strategic laydown sections can make all the difference. In roadkill hotspots, combine crossings with signs, lighting tweaks, and speed changes. Every crossing you add is a permanent stitch in your network. Measure 7. Monitor, learn, and adapt with remote sensing and AI. Use satellite and drone imagery to update vegetation cover and fire scars in near real time. Feed those layers into your cost surfaces. Rerun CircuitScape after floods or burns and see where current actually flows now, not last year. Deploy acoustic sensors for birds and frogs, eDNA in rivers for elusive fish and platypus, and camera traps along predicted pinch points to validate models. Set clear triggers for action. If cover drops below 30%, if a crossing fails, if a fire severs the middle route, you already know the next step. Don't freeze your plan in time. Treat it like the living system you're protecting. Learn, tweak, repeat. Here's how to start tomorrow. Pick the most critical connection between 2 core habitats. Map the best path, the second best, and the third best. Overlay rivers and list every barrier that, if removed or modified, unlocks long stretches of movement. Pin your climate refugia, cool gullies, permanent water, topographic shelter, and make sure each path touches them. Check native cover in every subcatchment those paths traverse. If any drop below 30%, plan shelter belts, paddock tree recruitment, or riparian plantings to lift them. Walk the roads and fences that cut across your routes and pick 2 high-probability spots to retrofit with crossings this year. Set up a simple monitoring loop. A satellite check after fire season, acoustic or camera sampling at pinch points, and a reminder to refresh your connectivity model every 12 months or after major disturbance. Why does this work across Australia's vast, variable, often harsh landscapes? Because it matches how systems actually function. It respects long-distance movements like flying fox migrations. It keeps kangaroos, gliders, and woodland birds moving even in drought years. It uses rivers as the backbone. It protects cool refuges when the heat cranks up. It spreads risk in a fire-prone continent. It stitches across public and private land, and it keeps learning as conditions change. Projects like the Great Eastern Ranges, roughly 3,600 kilometers along the Great Dividing Range, show how multinodal connectivity can scale across jurisdictions when you get the ingredients right. If you felt overwhelmed by the complexity, take heart. You don't need perfection. You need options. Options for wildlife to move today, tomorrow, and in a decade. Options for water to cool, for seed to spread, for genes to flow. Build 3 ways where you used to build 1. Let rivers do what they do best. Anchor everything to climate refugia. Lift native cover across working lands. Make corridors fire smart, infrastructure permeable, and your plan adaptive. Try it. Map those 3 routes, plug into refugia, fix 2 barriers, and check back in a year. Redundancy-rich networks don't just survive Australia's extremes, they thrive in them. And when the next fire season rolls through, or the rains return, your landscape will still function, because you didn't bet everything on a single green line. Thanks for listening, and here's to building connectivity that keeps Australia's wildlife moving when the world gets tough.